Everything's going wrong. Oh, what is going on? There we are. Right. So, welcome to a game I thought we'd chill with today because I've been put into a bit of a mood thanks to Phasmophobia being a pile of garbage. They have clearly broke that game over the years. It is not fun as I remembered it being. Back in the day, I remembered playing it on Steam VR, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And playing the PSVR 2 version of it, yeah, it very much annoyed us. Like, we played a session yesterday, and then I tried to play another session today, and it was just an absolute mess. So I ended up going back to Crimson Desert, but the whole point of playing that game was because I was wanting to take a little bit of a break from Crimson Desert, because I'm now 300 hours into this, and I'm starting to feel a little bit burnt out. The game isn't bad, don't get us wrong. I've just been playing for 300 hours non-stop, and yeah, I'm starting to feel the burn. So I thought I'd play something else. And so Phasmophobia didn't work. And there's a game being announced today by the guy who does a lot of the artwork for Vanillaware games, called Veritas Tales, Witch of the Dark Castle. And it's like an adventure book game, but the guy who does the artwork for it, I think it's all his own game. I'm not sure. I haven't fully read into it yet, but yeah, it's a story-driven book adventure game where it's got the guy from Vanillaware's artwork from like Odinsphere, Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinels, things like that. And he's made another game, but it doesn't come out until July. And then I thought, hang on, I've never sat down and played Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Which I remember I bought that many years ago on my mobile phone, on my Android. And I played just a little bit of it. And I thought it was interesting. And then years later, it got a full PS4 release, which has all the books, because there's multiple different books. There's 4 books. And this is the PS4 version, which comes with all the books. And yeah, it's basically an adventure storybook with artwork and different mechanics that you can choose, like building your character, rolling dice and things like that. And I thought, why don't we just chill and play that tonight? See how I feel about it. And if need be, this might become a weekend game. So during the week I play Crimson Desert, and then on the week we just sort of chill out with this and see how we get on. Now, obviously, the book has just fell silent there. So basically, you haven't missed much. It starts with the title screen, and it makes you choose a character. It makes you choose which book you want to start, book 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then you choose a character, a male warrior or a female, like, rogue, I think. And so I've went with male warrior for now. And so it starts with this. And we'll see how we'll go from there. Right, is this now working? Because I'm having to mess the audio for some reason. Isn't working properly. I can't see what the volume percentage is on because Stream Deck is just weird these days. Hang on. Is that working? I don't know if that's working. Because this game was quite loud. I will reboot the game just so we can hear how the audio is. Alright, so yes, Steve Jackson's Sorcery, the complete collection. Just something to chill with. If you want to just chill and listen to me read a book, yap. So, yeah, here we are. You choose your own character to begin your adventure. I don't know. Actually, she's not a thief. She looks like okay, so I think it's just basically male or female. So we'll go with the dude for now. You have walked the wilds of Kalhabad through Kare and the spiteful backlands all the way into Mapan. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods. And now it is here, the crown of kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Kalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it cracks with influence. Wait. The crown sits unguarded on a pedestal of light. After so many hardships, can it really be so simple? Or is this yet another deception? That is loud. Let's turn that down even more. Again, by now it's gone dead. Sure enough, as soon as you think it, the image of the crown begins to flicker. You turn around to see something approaching. It's a trap! And startle yourself awake. You're alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Inkle presents Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Part 1. The Shamutanti Hills? Is there an option to adjust different audio settings? Options. Wow. They have literally just straight up ported this from mobile, haven't they? Because it was originally a mobile game. So the only option is mute or unmute. There's no option to adjust the music and... Okay. I guess we'll just have to see how we get on. In fact, what I'll do... Filter... Weird, I apparently already have the limiter on. Nanny, but it wasn't working. Is that down to there, maybe? And then down. You son of a really? Right, I've limited that. Hopefully that works. And we'll see how that gets on. What I'll do first is I'll mute myself. Let's listen to the stream. That sounds fine. Right, cool. We'll see how we'll get on. So, press X to continue. It is sunrise. You dress, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. See, because then you get to choose what you want to do. Pray for luck. Test the blade. You pause to test the blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. I don't know which one's selected. What? I'm guessing pray for luck? Pray for luck. Nope, never mind. Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step out into the early morning sunshine. Press R1 to draw a path to the flag. Yeah, I think on the mobile version you had to actually draw it with your finger. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamutanti wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Greet them. I don't know which is the select. I would assume the one that's lit up is the one you selected. Greet them? I don't know. So look now, they're both lit up, so I don't know which is which. You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they believe you to be cursed. A man is waiting on the path to the Kantopani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sight Master warriors. He holds out his hand. Greetings, Sergeant. Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You're almost ready, he says. I have for you a gift from the king. 24 gold pieces. It is all we can spare this time. He holds out a pouch. Take half. You take the bag, count out half the coins, and return the rest. The king will need them should I fail, you declare. You choose a harder path, but I respect you for it. The Sightmaster replies, you must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. And should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. And he points with his staff towards the training grounds. How do I choose? So can I be like a spell sword sort of deal? Right, okay. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the Chief Mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in the different locations in the hills and beyond. Go inside. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use this? He asks. Tell me. Each spell is crafted through the alignment. Hang on. I turned up just a smidgen. Delta. We'll leave it at that. Right. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars, he begins. The spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Aegis, and Peony. Peony? But that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called. And what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Or Foff will create a force field around you. Shall I continue? Tell me more. The mage nods. The law spell is formed from Lilith, Aegis, and Wex. It will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The wild spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You will find the rest in the book, he adds, tapping the leather-bound volume. I want to know more. The mage looks surprised. Well, the DOP spell is useful for locks. Walk will shield you in battle, and Dumb will cause clumsiness. He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without focus. An item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know what. Research magic using the spellbook button on the map. Let's see, this volume contains the 48 spells of the high crafts. It's discovered and passed down from generation to generation of sorcerers from the earliest days of the Eastern world. Each spell is formed of 3 letters, and each spell will take energy to cast. Furthermore, some spells will fail without the use of a particular item or focus. Let's see. The 6 most useful spells. If you learn only 6 spells, so now back up to 100%, you can hardly hear the environment. All these spells are extremely tiring and will cost you 3 points of stamina. More economical versions exist, though some rely on the caster's own particular items of power. Right, so Zap costs 3 stamina. Big. Spell cast on the caster's body will inflate the body to 3 times its normal size. Increases the part. Okay, I guess we'll just learn as we go along. Don't want to like sit here just reading them all off now. So we'll go from there. Buy rations. Small traders in the settlement supply the site master warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbread and cheese. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says. I have a care. By haggle? Do you know who I am? I'm Anlan's great hero, you tell him. The man looks uncomfortable. I know that, but I have to feed my family today. Whatever happens to the crown? Buy 2 rations. You hand over your coins, and the man places 2 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure to eat every day or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but it's not necessary. Check the contents of your pack using the item button on the map. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather. Ready my sword. To begin, the sergeant says, we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Choose your attack power by dragging your character sideways to defend. Stay fully left. What? What? The side master is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The side master sergeant chooses a strong attack. You turn it away with minimum impact. I will now defend myself, he says. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. I think that's what it says. His weapon's covering it. You should choose a weak attack. Okay, move your character. To select weak attack, move your character. Okay, I don't like that. I don't remember this being like this on the mobile version. Like, he's blocking the text. Ah, right, there we go. Hang on. That's better. To select a weak attack, move your character a small distance to the right of the defending stance. You swing with a weak attack, rushing for the side master sergeant who is defending. Good choice. A strong attack would have wasted more of your power. My next attack will be weak, he declared. You will be able to overpower me by playing a stronger attack. But be sure your attack is stronger. Make a strong attack by pulling your character to the right. You play a strong attack, overpowering the side master sergeant again, who tries a low, careful attack. Overpowering a weak attack is easy, so you should aim to use as little power as possible. The enemy's stamina is at the top. If this reaches 0, you've won the fight. Hello, how do? My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declared. If you could perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise you had best defend yourself. For a strong attack, pull your character to the right. To defend, pull your character to the left. I decided to chill. We'll see how this game goes. So far, the number one problem with this game is the audio. Because this used to be a mobile game, and then it got a PlayStation 4 release, and I've never played it. I played a little bit of the original mobile version, and I quite enjoyed what little I did play of it. Again, I did not get very far. But, yeah, this version has no, like, volume controls other than just muting the game, and that is it. And the music tends to get very loud. At the moment, everything's quiet. Right, you defend yourself. The side master sergeant attempts a strong attack, but you receive only a small amount of damage. He will be weaker now, so it is so his next attack will be lower. My next attack will be of medium strength, he declared. You may be able to overpower me if you wish to try. Try to attack, pull your character to the right. Ooh, just. You choose a powerful attack, overwhelming the Site Master Sergeant. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. Stamina lost 2, skilled... What? Stamina lost. 2 stamina lost. Skilled swordplay. Okay, continue. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says, breathlessly. Good. Another round. Enough training. You shake your head. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish to bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates a wider yard where there is space for a true match. You head over to the yard to practice a bout of real fighting. The sergeant removes the cloth padding from the base of his staff. I unsheathe my sword. This time I will not tell you my intentions, he says. You will have to read them before to ready them for yourself. Or you will have to read them for yourself. Be ready. My reading went poo poo poo. Filters. You know what? I'll keep it as is, just in case. Hopefully the volume's alright. It's a bit quiet for me. I don't know what it's like for you guys. Right. Ah, now the music's gone up a bit. That's better. And now it's gone down again. It seems every time we do an action, the music goes up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. The Site Master bows to you, raises his staff in salute, and takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The Site Master is not to be trifled with. The Site Master Sergeant comes in with a tough blow, balancing his strength and his impact. He alters his grip to hold his staff more loosely. He seems to be preparing a simple jab, a chance to overpower him, perhaps? You bitch! The Site Master Sergeant laughs. With your blade close, you are ready to parry. As he catches you with a passing slice across your cheek, the impact catches you in the ribs. A mutter goes through the crowd. The king's truly weak to send such a champion. Their words spur you on to stand once more and narrow your eyes at the Site Master. Okay, so I don't know what he's planning this time. I defended. You drop yourself into a crouch, and he hangs back and watches you in return. You see his arms grow tense. He is readying a strong attack. You hold firm and keep up your defense. As he powers forward with a cry, it only tires him out. His eyes follow your shoulders. He is probably about to defend himself. You realize a strong hit would be wasteful now. Time to attack. You sting him with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy. I'll wear you out, you declare. His own weapon is raised in defense. He smiles. He is left breathless but not seriously hurt. He fades left. Relentlessly you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You swing your sword fast in towards his chest, but his one move is fast and careful, and he is able to parry the very worst of the strike. You have winded him. You are strong, he acknowledges. You whip up your defenses as he tries a deep bash, but you duck. Fast work, he grunts. His guard is coming up, conserving energy so that his next strike can be stronger. Afraid to try me, he goads, and he circles away. Acting quickly, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash. It is enough to finish him. The Sidemaster throws down his staff. You have me, he declares with a grin. 5 stamina lost, rough going. The sergeant is gasping for breath. He bows to you once more. Not bad, he declares. But you need to cover yourself more, or the beasts of the kingdom will take you apart. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with a salve, and your health, the sergeant, and the sergeant's is quickly restored. Oh, so I can't go back to the shop if I change my mind? Okay. Is there, like, a way to, like, save? Or does it just automatically do it? You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you. But you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the dop smell to be crafted, and he stands back. Cast a spell. Select the letters to find a spell. He said dop, didn't he? Dop. Opens locks and doors. Requires 1 stamina. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. If I overtake him, then he's too slow. The Sidemaster nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He claps you on the shoulder. What? Together you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. I understand. I will not wish you a safe journey to Kare. But the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs, as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Sidemaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Tell me what lies ahead. This path leads first to Kantopani, a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lie on the Kristatani, lie on to Kristatani, but no single route is safe. Kakhabad is a land of devils. And beyond Kare? I cannot see so far, he says. But once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun, and from Kare too, your progress will be watched. It is time to go. You thank him. You pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. The path winds through slopes of wind scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. They make you uneasy, as if you were an intruder in their presence. Keep walking. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamutani hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Cover my mouth. You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here, but for the moment you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. If this reaches 0, you will be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained up to the maximum by eating rations or resting. Right. Pick your path. Where do we go, guys? Do we travel across the country? Or do we go through the low rise? Choose your destiny. No? Anyone? I think Sephiroth had said he had to go away and do some stuff. I said, choose our destiny. Do we travel across the country? Or do we travel through the low rise? Take your pick. Pickety pick, 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 pick. Across the country? The path through the Cantopani is long and winding, and will lose you a day. Instead, you turn off the path and strike north through the knee-high grass. The journey starts with a stiff climb that takes several hours, but from the top you have a good view of a plain of yellow grass, and just to the north of that, a little village of rude huts. Rude huts? What? That do not look like human dwellings. To your left, the gigantic wall looms, throwing shadows that lap at your feet. Let's see, look back at the wall. Casting a glance up at its height, you see a familiar figure with his arm raised. He can see you, of course. He is standing on the battlements so he can watch your progress. Time to strike on then. The wind whispers through the long grass, beckoning you onward. But there might be rats and worse in those fields, so you might be safer cutting across the river and following the bank. So, do we play it safe and go across the riverbank? Or do we go into the long grass and fight some rats? I'm guessing, I don't know if there's like a level system to this game. I am not sure. Because we've got stamina and everything, so I don't know if there's a way to like boost that over time. And increase your strength and everything. So do we go to the long grass where there's a chance of fighting rats and stuff? Or do we play it safe and go to the riverbank? Choose your destiny. Long grass, go fight some rats. Right. You wade forward through the shimmering grass, which gets longer and longer, until first your boots and then your scabbard are lost from your view. Still, with Cantabani disappearing over the brow of the hill, you are making excellent time. Suddenly you freeze. Up ahead, the grass is parting in coils and bends. The parting is moving. There is something there, and it's coming towards you. Stand my ground. Whatever it is, it will find you ready. You wait as the switch-blading furrow moves closer. Cast a spell. Ooh. Draw my sword ready. You draw your sword. Your heart is hammering in your chest. The moving grass is barely 3 strides from you now. The hissing of the grass is louder now, almost too loud. Wait. Then the break in the grass is upon you, and you see what has made it. An enormous serpent. Its body the thickness of 2 broad men, and its eyes red like stovepipe. This isn't a rat! And its eyes red like stovepots, lit with an inner fire. That's not a rat! The serpent rears up out of the grass and bares its enormous fangs. To battle! You are ready as you will ever be, with sword in hand to take it on. The serpent's great coils are winding around your feet. In a moment, they will tighten and snap your ankles. You drop into a defensive crouch, stepping well back. As it curls back, lashing out with its tail, you escape mostly unscathed. Oh boy. Oh shit. The serpent is sliding across the grass towards you with lethal speed. You try to cut across its body, but it catches the blow with its hard tail tip. It bashes you with a flick of its tail, and its deadly teeth come for your eyes, catching a long bloody gash down your face. It snaps and bites at the air between you. You wait as the serpent shifts, exposing its belly, then you attack. Launching off your heels, you lunge for the beast's neck. It slips away from beneath your blade. Its head tumbles backwards into the grass. It snaps and bites at the air between you. You drop into a crouch. The serpent tries to knock you over with its thick neck, but you duck. You breathe a sigh of relief. It snaps and bites at the air between you. An opening appears. Swinging up from a low crouch, you aim to sever the serpent's head. It recoils quickly. The terrible creature is suffering. It can barely hold its neck. It snaps and bites the air between you. The serpent is retreating, but you give chase. Risking your weight, you thrust forward. With a great cloud of dust, the head of the serpent crashes to the ground, and the light in its eyes goes forever dark. 5 stamina lost. Shameful. What? The serpent lies dead before you. Search it. There is only one way to search the body. With your sword, you split it open, cutting through its long stomach. It's filthy work, but not unrewarding. For from the belly of the beast falls an arm bone, with the skeleton hand attached, and in the grip of the hand a small bag of coins. You lift the gold from the palm, then snatch your hand back quickly. You have been burned by the stomach acid that has soaked through the leather of the bag. Yay. Take the coins, not the bag. More carefully this time, you knock the coins free from the bag with the tip of your sword. Sparing a little of your water, you wash them clean and then slip the coins into your purse. And this is long enough. This is a long enough pause. You leave the serpent for the crows and make your way forward through the lengthening grass, wiping your sword as you go. I hope there's a place to rest. What's this? Oh, what? Ah, right. You can, like, go all the way back through the pages if you want. I see. Okay. Cancel. So, R1. You head onward into the long grass, which gets taller and taller. The ground seems to slip away, but the plants are just as tall. Soon you can no longer see the wall above the nodding stems. A few paces later, you cannot see the wall ahead at all. Keep onwards. There is no point turning back. Grass cannot hurt you. You push onwards, but which way? Use the shadows as a compass. Follow the rising ground. Follow the level ground, or cast a spell. Use the shadows as a compass. But surely you can use the shadow of the grass blades as a compass. Looking through the grass to where it seems lightest, you head the other way, hoping to move northward. The ground below rises and falls as if walked over low foothills, but there is nothing to see. Keep walking. You walk for about an hour, following the darkest areas of the grass that you can find. Then suddenly you come across a flattened path through the grass stems. Someone else has walked this way. Follow the path. You stick to the path, hoping it will lead you out of this meadow. You have been in it for a long time. You walked for an hour more, with rising spirits as you see the path becoming more and more well established. You must be getting close to the village now. Yeah, I remember I bought it years ago. How you doing, Lullaby? I bought book 1 a long time ago on my Android phone, but I never really got too far into it, and then I bought the PS4 version of this, and you can tell it's just a straight-up port of the mobile version, because there's like no sound settings other than to mute the audio altogether. You can't like turn the music off or up or down or anything. It's just, that's it. Right, so what do we do? Try something else. Keep going. You walk for an hour more. The path starts to show footprints. 6 or 7 men have gone this way before. 6 or 7 men, all marching in a similar stride, wearing boots of similar size. Military men? Or bandits? Oh no. You've been walking around in circles, following your own path, and now evening has drawn in and you are exhausted. Yay! Okay. And you are still in the lost in the grass. You must get out of here and quickly. Follow the rising ground. That's just going to take us back up the hill, isn't it? You follow the line of the rising ground as best as you can, making your way back up the hill. After a while, the grass begins to shorten, and going becomes much easier. Finally, after many hours, you find yourself back beside the body of the serpent. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's just go to the river creek. You have wasted several hours walking through the grass. You must now go a different way and try to make up time. Yay! Around the hill. You crest the rise, heading roughly north towards the riverbank, where you should be able to pick up the path once more and make faster progress. As you head down the hillside towards the riverbank, you spy movement in the distance. Something is happening at the water's edge. Wait and watch. You stop where you are and strain your eyes to look. Figures, men, but they move too fast, flitting across the riverbank like sheets snapping in the breeze. Watch a little more. You wait a little longer until you are quite sure. The creatures are floating and moving through the air, but they seem harmless enough. Your guess is that they're fishing. Wait, I got what? Alright, I got. Alright, depending on how you... Thanks, game, you didn't explain that. If you move the camera around, it gives you different options. You piece of crap. Approach the creatures. Why not? Begin to make your way down the hillside. The grass gives out and turns into a scree of gravel, with the occasional patch of sharp gorse that tugs and snags at your tunic. There's barely earth, just sheer rocks. This place is a thinly disguised wasteland. Then suddenly your foot slips and you lose your balance. Beneath your feet the slopes has turned into a steep drop and you are sliding down it. You have only seconds to decide what to do. Stab the sword at the ground. Quickly, as you tumble, you draw your sword from your scabbard. There's a terrible moment when you almost drop it, but then, now sliding quickly on your belly down the rock face, you turn it to ready to stab downwards. Stab. You stab hard downwards, but, of course, you're on rock. With no earth, there is nothing for the sword blade to skewer into. In fact, all you succeed in doing is blunting the... Yeah, we're off to a great start. I got jumped by a snake, spent like 7-8 hours wandering through some grass, only to go back to where we began, and now I broke my sword. Yay! There's no more time. Everything is a blur, and the storm struck dust and pain, but finally, level ground comes up to meet you, and you hit it sharply. The sword, still in your hand, skitters from your grasp. Pain arcs up through your thighs, but when you try to sit up, you realize the terrible truth. You've fallen badly in your execution, and now you've broken your neck. I'm dead? What is my fate? You're food for the vultures. Yeah. That got far. Discover your fate. Rip. GG. Okay, now what? So we just gotta basically go back to square one now. Do you wish to rewind the story back to Through the Gate? Libra's patronage. Rewind your choices. So I guess, are you supposed to do that? There's no like, oh, saving and loading. You're just always like moving back if you fuck up. Is that how this works? Together, you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. I understand. I will not wish you a safe journey to Kara, for the way ahead will not be safe, the surgeon murmurs, as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Sidemaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Tell me what lies ahead. This path leads first to Cantopani, a settlement of traders, though Moorstar, rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead to the Kristatanti, but no single route is safe. Kahabad is a land of devils. And beyond Kare? I cannot see so far, he says. But once you have crossed the city point of traps, you will enter the city port of traps. You will enter the backlands. They say that day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Kare too, your progress will be watched. It is time to go. You thank him. You press through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Right. So that death was Lou's fault? The path winds through the slopes of wind scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the crowing of the crows, occasional crow. There's a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. They make you uneasy, as if you were an intruder in their presence. Keep walking. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamutanti hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Keep walking. It is not surprise. It is not surprise. Let's say some good word in there. It's not supposed to be, it is no surprise. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here. But for the moment, you must be very careful. Maximum stamina just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. If it reaches 0, you'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained maximum by eating rations or resting. Right, so we're not going to the country this time because that was a big fat waste of time. So, Alorise. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock from the top, which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Cantopani. It was a learned experience. It was indeed. We learned how everything went from bad to worse. Right, so over the hill, it looks like there's some sort of village, and he's saying it must be Cantopani. Now, remember the last time we went up into the grasslands and we looked on this place, he said the huts didn't look human. So, do we look at the village, or do we look for a way around, or do we move on? Choose your destiny. Which do we choose? Well, I mean, Lullaby's already played it, so she knows the right answers. Sephiroth's not here at the minute, so you're the only one. We're going to the village. Yeah, you never finished it, but this is the beginning of the game. This is literally the beginning. Book 1. This is like the very first choices outside the village you start in. So you must have done this. Otherwise, you've never played the game. Right. Look at the village. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town. Except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few painted animals are thin and wizened like thirsty vines. Wizened. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There is nothing here to protect. Right. So, do we head into the village? Do we head into the village, or do we avoid the village? Choose your destiny. That's why I chose this book, so we can all have something to do. Like, it's an interactive book. Put down your gacha games, Lou. Pick up a cup of coffee. And chill. That's why I chose this game. This is probably going to be something I'm going to do on the weekends, because obviously I'm starting to get burned out with Crimson Desert. So Crimson Desert I'm going to do through the week. And then on the weekends, we can just chill and play this. So, like I said, grab a cuppa. In fact, I might do the same. You wanna go to the village? Okay. I keep pressing the wrong button. Of course, if you cannot handle a town like Cantapani, then you could not hope to survive the Calabad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of hard-baked, bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, you think they will allow you to pass unchallenged, but then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. Yes, I might go quickly make a cup of tea. That might be a good idea. Everyone go make a cup of tea. And then we'll reconvene in a few minutes. And we'll see what happens. So I'll be back in a minute. Right. I have watermelon. And a cup of tea. Right. Right, so we've been approached by a villager in the middle of town. He stepped in the middle of a path to stop us from proceeding. Do we look at him, threaten him, push him out of the way, or cast a spell? Keep in mind, when we cast spell, it costs stamina. We look at him, give him the old stink eye. He is 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has thick-set arms and thighs and is half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. "Halt, stranger," he commands. "What business have you in Cantapani?" Do we want to buy equipment? Are we passing through? Or do we need directions? Or are we hungry and need of food? Also, hang on. My stamina used to be on 20 at the beginning of the game. Now it's 10. Like, is there a way to increase your maximum again? As soon as we left the village, it like cut my stamina in half. I'm guessing that's to do with the whole smog thing. It says in time you'll get used to it. So maybe once he's become used to it, I'll get that 20 back. I don't know. So I need directions. To where, he demands. I'm on my way to Kare, he says. I've never travelled this road before. I have myself never left this village, the man declares with pride. Although I can tell you there are 2 paths ahead. But my advice is not free. You must have money on you. For a gold piece, I'll tell you what I know. We've got 8 gold pieces. Do we pay him the gold to try and get info, or do we say jog on and we'll try to find out ourselves? Yeah, that's true. He says he's never left the village, so he could be talking out his arse. Yeah. I won't pay to hear your make-believe. The man shrugs. Your gold won't save your hide from the lotus or the elven, he replied, but it's your decision. And he stands aside to let you move on by. You stride on into the very centre of the village. There are a few larger houses here. Even Cantapani has its nobility, it seems. But the only spot of interest is a small inn offering food for sale. Well, keep in mind we already have 2 rations that we left the village with. We're still max stamina. So I don't think we need to go to the inn. So I think we'll pass it by. The tavern is not worth your time. It is too poor and meagre to offer much hospitality. You head to the out of Cantapani along the path into Shamutanti Hills. Passing the outlying huts, you feel strangely uneasy. Hissing from within, a sly face appearing from the doorway makes you feel decidedly unwelcome. Then, at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder and at once two rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1. The first declares. You're lost, calls the other. So hand over your things. Come on. Deal with the... Well, I doubt they're gonna... So handing over is clearly the no-no. And again, they're bandits, so I doubt reasoning them would work either. Do we agree? So deal with them being the other option. Do we think? This might be a point to cast a spell. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. I would like to give you a moment to reconsider, because I will kill you if I have to. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand. Is there a way to look at the book? I want to look at the spell book. Oh, crap. Never mind. It changed the option automatically to fight. You prick. The first bandit closes in on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature in its place. You should have made things easier for yourself, the bandit goads, and launches forward with his sword. You make good a defense. His grip tightens on his sword. Enough of this. You aim a savage blow at his heart. His own attack is easily turned. The bandit is badly bruised. He raises his sword, ready to protect himself. You cut the imbecile no slack. You go for his throat with all of your strength. He raises his sword at the last moment to deflect the blow. The bandit stops and coughs blood into the earth. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body. He finds a hole in your defense and slips in his sword through, but only for a moment. You are safe. The bandit narrows his eyes in readiness. Oh crap. Then the brute gets the upper hand, sweeping wide, leaves you open as he charges with every ounce of his strength, knocking you back. You check for blood but see none. The bandit's fingers clutch his sword more tightly. Enough of this. You leap forward, cutting down through the air. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. The second bandit takes one look at his dead colleague and turns and makes a run for it. Chase him down. Do we chase him down or do we let him go? In my mind, if we let him go, he might run to get friends further down the road. Maybe. Could be a possibility. So do we let him go or do we chase him down? Keep in mind, we've got 6 stamina. We've already ate through 4 of it. And I don't think it'll let us go back to the inn since we decided to pass it. So we're chasing him? Alright. You immediately give chase. He will not get away so easily after trying to rob you. After a few minutes of scrambling between rocks, you have him cornered. You draw your sword and grin maliciously. The second bandit cries out, but is ready to fight if he must. Ooh, he went for a hard hitter straight away. He sapped all of his stamina there. The death of his friend seems to send the second bandit flying into a rage. He starts to scream wildly as he hurtles forward. You gather your wits and drop into a defensive crouch. You adjust your grip and square your shoulders. He looks down at his friend's body, and you seize the moment to strike. Grabbing a nearby branch, you swing it at his head. And as he reels, you lash out with your blade. He is now half-hearted. Below his his own half-hearted blow is knocked away. The bandit winces at the blow. He steps back. Press the attack. You keep up the pressure and swing with expert precision and all of your strength. He thinks better of his own attack and defends instead. The bandit can barely find his balance. The bandit shifts his grip on his sword. You batter at his blade. You thrust, making swift progress across the dirt towards him. Your strike is more than the bandit can take. He falls to the ground, quiet and dead. One stamina lost. We've got skilled swordplay. The fight is over. You clean your weapon and regain your breath. Search the bodies. You search through the bandits' pockets but find nothing, not even a single gold piece. Their clothing is ragged and rough, worse than animals. You leave their bodies for the beasts to pick clean and set off again. After about half an hour, the way becomes an uphill decline. Or incline. I wish I could go back to the inn. There's another inn over. There's another village over there from the looks of things, across that Samosa River. But I'm gonna guess there's gonna be something waiting for there. Leaving Cantopani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Kare, a thriving city port. But all are touched by cruelty, isolation and fear. The backland and the long shadow cast by Mapang Fortress darken everything. Can I, get my rations? How do I get my rations? I want my rations. I'll leave it at that for now. Right. Yeah, it's not letting us move on. Any? The option to move on has disappeared. Hello? I don't want to rewind. I want to move. How do I move on? That flag's disappeared. Nanny? Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Right. And with the crown gone, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Kalana, the reformer founded the Alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead. But no more. Ruddlestone, Leatherland, Galantaria, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power. But not Anland. But when the crown came to Anland, it was stolen by Birdmen from Zeman and carried off to Mapang. With the crown, the Archmage will be unstoppably powerful. There is no chance of sending an army against him. A military force would not survive the journey. So here you are, a lone hero, walking the long path to Mapang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach the fork in the road. The sergeant, for all his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. The road splits around the base of the gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down to a valley, and the right rises a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually, and you may get a decent view of the next lake from the top of the ridge. Look left. You pause to consider the lower route. There's a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is safer my arse. We fella broke my neck that way. It's safe. So that's considered safe. What the hell's the forest then? But the hills will... it's a safer route, secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you were almost backtracking. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand. Look around. You look around, then finally into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, calloused feet are dangling down over your head, about to drop on you, perhaps. Who's there? You call. The voice cries again, a little more boldly this time. Up here! Help! Help! I can't get down! It's the voice of a feeble, wiry old man. Stepping back a little, you can see him clearly. As thin as a stick and dressed in dirty rags. Help him down. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree, you reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I wasn't just staring to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. Mate, we just fell down a little tiny slope and broke my neck on my last run, so shut up. What will you do now? You ask. Keep going for Arnold, he says. That's where I set off from, a while back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out in my pang, and you better be smarter than I was. And here, he presses a page into your hand. It's a page torn from a spell book. This might be some use to you. I found this. Just found it, mind, and don't go asking how. But it's no good to me anymore. Take it. You take the page and thank him. The man falls quiet and squats down on the ground. With his jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. So hang on. If I leave, the old man's gonna get stung, I'm guessing. Also, what's this dolphin? It was crow earlier. Is that like the day or something? Or the month? Or like the game hasn't explained that. Do we climb the tree to investigate the beehive, or do we move on and leave the old man to probably deal with that? It was his fault for climbing up the tree in the first place. He gave us a spell book. So what do we think? What we're doing next? While I drink my tea. Leave and move on. You must move on. The light is fading already. As the old man dashes off downhill towards Cantopani, at a terrific pace, you consider your options. I think I'm going to take the high path. It's rough going, but it'll give you a clear view, it said. And I don't want to go the other way, because like I said, the last time we went that way, we slipped and broke our neck. But that was from coming... I don't know if it'll be different, because we're coming along the path this time. Last time we went from the hills there, the Cantopani hills there. Afterwards spent forever in the long grass there, wasting nearly an entire day. We had to backtrack, and then we went down the hill to the creek from there, and we broke our neck. So it might be different if we go from this direction. But it won't give you a good enough view. But again, panning the camera, we know there's two paths leading to that village there, which is where I kind of want to go and hopefully get some more stamina back. It looks like there's something on the roadside there as well. Just here, whatever this is. And then it looks like there's a bigger settlement there. Well, that's my end goal, to get to there. Is this the whole map, or will it like change as we get further in? Also, we never got a, like, when we were in the village, we never got an option to, like, go down here. We did our training and then we, like, moved on after we beat the trainer in a proper bout. Let's take the high path. The high route seems the more secure. In a valley, you can be easily observed from above and led astray, but out in the hills you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls, it may be cold and exposed up on the slopes, but no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. The path winds upward into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange-shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour of walking, you are starting to feel very slightly hungry, but you might be wise to save your provisions. Continue walking. You keep up your pace. The climb continues, with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full, and when twilight is done, it will be bright once more. Do we make camp or do we keep going? I get the feeling if we make camp, well, I don't know if it... We chose not to eat our food, so I'm hoping if we choose to, like, make camp, it'll just let we get our stamina back. It'll not just, like, make we eat a ration. I'm going to put my blanket on here, because it is driving his Batu. Driving me batty. That'll do. I'd be asked to be fancy about it. There we go. Right, so do we make camp for the night or do we keep walking? It did say we got a full moon. Can you like review the previous thing? Like, it doesn't look like it gives us the option once the choices are up. We'll play it, in fact, you know what? We'll play it safe. We'll make camp. We've took a couple of chances already, so we'll make camp. But to tire yourself out on the first day would be inauspicious. You settle down to make a camp for the night in a natural shelter provided by the roots of 3 gigantic intertwined trees. Your back will serve for a pillow and your cloak for a blanket. Before setting to sleep, you check through your pack. You have 1 meal's worth. I knew it. You have right. You have 1 meal's worth of ration left. Settle down to sleep. Uh-oh. You lay yourself out on the ground and are quickly asleep. The moon is full and high in the sky. When you next open your eyes, you feel warm and more cozy than you did before, as if wrapped in a gigantic blanket. There is a pain in your leg. There's something eating my leg. Slowly you realize what is happening. A giant bat has settled on your chest and is feeding on your leg. What? Kill the bat. The bat's great wings buffet at your face, making it hard to see. You slash at it out at the creature, hoping to cut off its wings, as the bat dodges back, cutting with the hooks on its wingtips. You drop into a crouch. The giant bat screams through the air, but you repel it with your blade. You escape mostly unscathed. It flaps its wings threateningly, clearly trying to frighten you. You wait for the creature's wide wings to open and then you strike. Pushing off the tree behind you, you thrust forward. The giant bat tries to cover itself, but is too slow. The bat is flying erratically now. Oh damn. Oh boy. Then the creature is after your blood. You try a quick stab, but the bat dodges and you miss. The giant bat knocks you backwards against one of the trees. You stumble, head spinning. You scream as the creature draws blood. It ruffles its sleek, leathery wings immediately. Competent combat. An opening appears. You cleave the air with your sword. The bat falls to the ground and the lights in its eyes go dark. The bat is dead. You toss its carcass back into the woods and now, truly exhausted, you lie back. Once again, the crown fills your dreams. Only now, instead of being hidden away in Mapang Fortress by the Archmage, you see it on the head of the burly villager from Cantapani. Anyone can wear the crown, he declares to you, but wearing the crown you are no longer just anyone. And then he points a finger at you that seems to crackle with energy, and you find yourself drawn towards him, commanded to do his bidding. You are walking towards a crack in the ground. It seems sure to swallow you whole. You stumble at its edge, about to fall. The next morning... Ah yeah, spellbook page. The page is torn through and only half the spell is visible. See here. Second day of your journey begins in the morning cool. Still half between sleeping and walking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the dolphin, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still swimming beside you. In the temple they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, and even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask the spirit for aid using the prayer button. Where's the pray button? How does one pray? You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of the hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing. In the clearing are several poles planted firmly into the ground, and atop each pole is a head. Do we look at the heads or do we keep moving? Choose your destiny. Look at them. Okay. The heads are of all kinds of ages. Some are recently fixated while others have decayed. Some are nothing but skulls and hair. They are human heads, goblin heads, and one or two heads of creatures you do not recognize. All have sewn up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. But ahead the road forks, left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right-hand path continues to climb, and the left-handed path winds down the side of the hill. So that hasn't helped in the slightest. It looks like there's a mine there, or something, along the climb. So it looks like you've also got to pay attention to the map as well. So if we go the climb way, it looks like eventually we'll come across whatever that is there. Or we could probably play it safe and go that way, I don't know. But it could be that that village there is a bunch of cannibals or something, I don't know. So what do I think? Do we go left towards that small looking village? Or do we go right? Go to the mines? Okay. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you are not far from the top, and the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. There is something ahead, hidden by the ancient trees that line these slopes. Do we follow the sound or keep to the path? So it looks like we found the 7 dwarves in the mine shaft, maybe. It'd be funny if that's actually what it was. But clearly someone's doing some mining. So do we follow the sound? Yeah. You leave the path and continue through the woods. A short distance onwards, you hide behind a tree and survey a clearing. A number of goblins are in the clearing, working at the mouth of an open cave. They trudge in and out of the opening carrying large balls in their arms, piled up with glistening rocks and dull metallic nuggets. Little nuggies. So do we watch them work, leave them to it, or make a break for the cave entrance? I'll put my fan back on. It is not cool anymore. It was cool before, because we had a bit of rain, but seems to have gotten hot again. I'll shut my door as well, because it's getting on. Watch them, see what they do. You stay hidden, getting a sense of the scale of the operation. There are at least 30 goblins inside the cave, each coming out every few minutes or so with a new pail of stones. Then there are other goblins working in the clearing with hammers, smashing the rocks into small pieces, extracting metals from the inside, loading them into carts, and finally pushing the carts away down the wide track between the trees. It is quite some operation, but not without its weaknesses. There are too many goblins to create any kind of distraction, but they move away into the trees fairly often, and sometimes the cave is left unguarded. Right, 30 goblins are going in and out of here. Are we trying to slip inside of here? Or do we leave and carry along the path? So do we risk it for the biscuit? Or do we say fuck no and crack on? Run away. Leave the mine and return to the path. Interesting. Perhaps the goblins are making ready for war? Even they are afraid of the power the Archmage will wield now he has the crown. But it is of no use to you. You are not here to raid goblin mines for yourself. You cannot risk the future of Anland for trinkets, so instead you slip around the side of the clearing to a path leading onward and down to the far side of the hill. You follow a path that leads sharply downhill into a narrow valley in which a stream runs. There's no path along the bank, but there is a bridge. I'm going to choose Inspect. Inspect the ropes and planks. The fact that that's an option, you test the ropes. They seem to be firm. If it's a trap, it's not one that will dump you into the stream, but you could always struggle through the vegetation on the bank and try to find a fording point. Okay. Do we try the bridge or do we move along the bank? We've tested the rope and he says it seems sturdy. Bridge. Bridge it is. Moving slowly and with one hand on your sword hilt, expecting the boards to give way at any moment, you inch across. The bridge holds and you reach the other bank quite safely. You now have a long walk ahead of you, along the ridge and through the light covering of trees. Further on. The path climbs up a low hill, covered over with thick bushes and shrubs that snag at your clothing. Halfway up, you hear a sound, twigs breaking. Freeze. You freeze as a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long, bushy tail that trails out behind. It growls menacingly. You will not be able to avoid a confrontation. The creature is a skunk bear, and when it raises its tail, it releases a nauseous odor. The smell that hangs around it is terrible. Cast a spell. Wait, hang on. Am I blind? I don't see a Z for zap. Where is Z? Eh? Nanny? I can't remember all the spells because the game's like you can't reference the book while you're on this screen. The only one I remember is zap. obviously haven't used any spells yet. Why isn't Z in the first option? What was the fire option again? I'm forgetting what the fire option... I'm forgetting all the options. Why? Can you not refer to the book before you... Ah, hang on. Spellbook. Aha! Is that an option? Hot? I don't even see the H. There's no H either. Or D to make dumb. Or W to make wall. There's nothing. What the fluff? Big. Is that an option? Make myself big? Bigger than the bear? Let's say that's an option. Big. But I can't even do that. Nope. No B. No B. Really? No B. No bitches. I'm not seeing any options here. Walk. This spell requires a gold coin placed in the caster's wrist. When the spell is cast, it will transform into an invisible metal shield, but the coin will be lost. Raz requires beeswax. Sus. Dim? Ah, right. Are these ones that are lit up ones that I can actually cast them with? Right, S A P causes depression. Let's depress this skunk bear. You launch the spell and the snarl of the face of the creature turns into a glum glower. It's still coming at you, but only half-heartedly, swiping with idle claws. You draw your sword. That's not half-heartedly. The miserable creature has two main weapons. Its long claws and its terrible smell. You thrust your sword in front of you, hoping to skewer the monster. Slowly and sour-faced, the monster lumbers forward. You brace yourself as it comes down. Blood trickles from the cuts on your arms. The skunk bear bears its air with its furry tail, or beats the air. You risk an attack, Rushing forward, you charge at the skunk bear. And as it tries to crush you, you cut its attack down. The skunk bear emits a terrible odor, the smell of fear perhaps. It drops to all fours and roars moodily. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The skunk bear stays low and tries to ram you. Then its tail lifts and you are coughing and choking. For a moment, it is close enough that the terrible smell that hovers around it fills your nostrils. You retch, almost staggering. It drops its weight and growls weakly. The smell is getting worse. Standing firm, you swing a mighty blow at the skunk bear. Then your sword finds a soft place in the skunk bear's body. The bear roars and tumbles to the ground, quite dead. Skilled sword player. With the creature defeated, you wipe your sword clean and leave the place behind. Why can't we, like, search these for anything? Or, like, take the hides or anything to sell, maybe? Maybe stuff like this will improve in the following books. With the creature defeated, the path leads down through another valley and back up another hill. 2 hours pass. Approach Kristatanti? The sun is now just past the zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided. But then you see a small village set into the hill. Look at it. Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases, and thatched roofs of grass and thick leaves. There is unusually more than just one street running through the centre of the town. But it is as though this place, once rich, has had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue your slow trudge along the path. Do we enter the village? I'm probably going to say we should enter it. Mainly because of that fight we've just had. We've only got half of our stamina left. We've got gold to spare, so we'll probably hopefully stock up and rest for the night, maybe. Do we agree? Enter the village. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Hill dwellers? Hobbits? More hobbits? You nod back respectfully. Look at the people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town, here on the knife edge of the backlands. Talk in an alehouse or rest at the inn? What do I think? Alehouse to talk or rest at the inn? Alehouse. Walking down the single road, you quickly find a hut with its front covering pulled wide open and the smell of brewed beer coming from inside. You go in. Several hill dwellers are here, talking gruffly. When you enter, they watch you with understandable caution. So it looks like the some of the art style sort of reminds us of the characters from that fire game, that VR fire game we played recently, along Midnight Walk. Midnight Walk. The owner of the hut comes over to you. Welcome to Kristanti, he declares. What do you want? Greet the owner. An evening's rest and a drink to wet my throat, you reply. Ale's 1 gold piece, he answers. Please, sit. You go over to the table where the hill dwellers are. Do we sit with the oldest man or the youngest man? The oldest? You turn your attention to the oldest man at the table. Whatever face he once has is lost in a labyrinth of wrinkles, and his skin is the colour of tanned hide from a lifetime of the beating sun. Greetings, old man. He raises his mug in salute. Stranger. His face is gravely like the dusty dirt that lines the streets of his town. Where are you from? I come from Analand. He nods. Not many has crossed through the Cantabani Gate in either direction, if you know what I'm saying. I understand you. Analand must be kept safe. You answer simply. On the likes of us two, they say there's a war coming. Something to do with the crown, or with a crown. Not if I can help it. Is that so? Replies the canny old man. Well, seems like you should be drinking on the house tonight. For the good of all of us. Janti. He calls the innkeeper over. I'll cover this man's ale. Yes! Free booze! It's appreciated. You reply, raising your cup to him. You sip your beer. The old man exchanges glances with the younger man sitting opposite. Why? I've just been spiked, haven't I? Uh-oh. Why did he exchange a glance with the old man, the younger one? I've just been spiked. Do we talk to the young one that he's just glanced to, or do we ask the old man about the area? The young man. You thank him for the conversation. You catch the young man's eye. He moves over to be right beside you, close enough to whisper in your ear, but you don't quite catch what he says. Could you repeat that? The man giggles to himself unexpectedly, leaning in again, so close you can smell the fumes on his breath. He declares, Snattercats. Then he collapses in a fit of giggles once more. Whatever the joke is, you cannot see it. What do you mean? The man nods twice, then drinks deeply from his beer to wet his throat. Or perhaps not, because he puts the mug down once more and says nothing. Just fidgets with his fingers and occasionally grins in your direction. I've been spiked. Ask one of the other dwellers about this man. You catch a woman's arm nearby. What's wrong with this man, you demand. She shrugs, slipping free of your grasp. Every village has one, she answers. Doesn't mean we're all like that. Good stock we are. And she flutters her eyelids. You get back to your feet. The young man giggles to himself, but does not attempt to stop you. Finish my beer and leave. You make to leave the inn. With a wave back to the old man who bought you the drink, you step outside. You look this way and that, trying to decide what to do next. When you realise the old man has joined you once more, he grabs your shoulder and presses a fruit into your hand. Bomba, he declares through fermented breath. I grow them myself. Good for the stomach. He pats your belly and walks away, swaying slightly. Look at the fruit. You turn the old man's gift over in your hands. It is a thick rind fruit that keeps well and will be highly nourishing when you decide to eat it. Its only drawback is its incredible weight. It is now evening and time to sleep. Let's go to the inn. We'll get a good sleep because he said he didn't want to stop outside again. You stop a passerby and ask for an inn, and they lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. "Are you from the king?" she demanded. No, I'm a mere traveller. The woman narrows her eyes at you. "This is a guest house, the best in Christianity. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it costs me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight, and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends." So, we'll not get to eat. But we'll get the, if we pay the 3, I guess we'll pay the 3. I'll take a room. The woman shows you the way upstairs to a room. There are 3 other guests already staying and asleep, so you settle quickly. The bed is not clean, but it's comfortable, and after a long day and all its narrow escapes, you are greatly beyond measure for the rest. Or you're grateful beyond measure for the rest. Sleep. Your dreams are vivid once again. You are walking endlessly, the hills moving up and down under your feet like a rippling sea. Every step exhausts you, but no step moves you forward. Meanwhile, a tall black creature strides towards you, weathered in a foul-smelling smoke. So that's the bear that we just fought, that skunk bear. And in the distance, a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. How do I earn more money? Between the building, you wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave the village. This is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. Hey, our stamina max has gone up to 14, I've noticed. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Christianity is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left hand leads directly off into deep woodlands. Do we go through the woodlands towards this village? Or do we head off through the fields towards what looks like a bunch of ruined buildings? It actually says ruined there. Liaki? Dumpus. I mean, it sounds better than these ruins. So which do we choose? Dumpus or Liaki ruined? And also going along that way, we're going to go along a valley as well. Oh, it looks like there's a cave. Is that a cave entrance on either side, or is that just the way it's drawn? Let's keep it interesting. We'll go to the ruins and see what happens. You glimpse a few people at work by the buildings. There will be precious little company on your journey, so you should take it while you can. Approaching a low wall, you see a blind beggar, sheltered in the shade with his hands held outstretched. He hears you approach and clicks his fingers. Alms, would you? For love of Sindler, alms? Throw him a coin. You place a coin in his outstretched hands. You are kind, traveller, the beggar says. He feels over the surface of the coin, then bites down on it. Why me? This is a gold piece. You are too generous to a poor sightless beggar. You'll get me killed if anyone knows that I have it. The beggar beams up at you. Look after yourself, you say, preparing to walk away. Wait, he calls. One moment, please. He begins to scramble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually he cries, Aha! And pulls out a copper key, which he holds out to you. What is that? Years ago I lived in Carre, he explains. Carre was my home, and in the city port I watched over prisoners in the Gaul. Beware. Isn't Gaul just also jail? Isn't it just pronounced jail? I can't remember. Beware the red eyes in Carre, or my fate will befall you and you'll be here with me begging for a living. What are the red eyes? Pray you never find out, is his simple reply. Listen to me. Carre is wary of strangers, but this key will help you if you be captured by red eyes. Trust old me. So it's a sail key or something to help us get out if I get captured. As the man talks, you step quickly out of the road as an ox cart whips past you, raising dust. It does not stop. Take the key. You take the key and put it safely into your pack. Thank you, you say, then moving on. You follow the path away from the village for half the morning. The walk is easy, it feels natural, and breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Hard to believe you trained for this journey so long now that you are on it. You climb a little, tracing the side of a group of trees until you meet a fork in the road. You could continue straight on and upwards, or turn west a while. Let's carry on straight into those ruins and we'll see what happens. I think going off into the forest is probably a bad idea. You continue along the path, climbing. Your legs feel strong and lean. By the end of this journey, you will be built like a mountain goat. The afternoon progresses long and easy. This place you are walking through seems thick with desolation, as if it was long ago abandoned, and then, as if to confirm your thought, you come across two enormous stone pillars, listing slightly either side of the road. They form a gate, but the gate is 3 times the height of a man. Do we go through? Do we look at them first? Or go back the other way? I'm gonna guess we'll look at them first. Peering closely, you make out the faded remains of carved characters. In the old script, L and K. The remnants of a spell of fortune. Ah, L-U-K, look. Perhaps, or of binding for these now fallen stones. Okay, so it could be 2. A spell for luck or a spell of some sort of binding for the stones. L-U-K. I'm guessing it's L-U-K for luck, but what about the binding one? L-O-K? Lock? Maybe? So LUK for look, LOK for lock. Go through. There is nothing for it but to go forward. Through the gate. You step into the shadow of the enormous gate. The ruins and walls line the path either side. These are walls built from blocks the size of ox carts. Is that why the ox cart rushed past earlier? Centuries ago, this must have been a place of a king 12 feet tall. Now it's been levelled and the stones stolen for the field walls and foundations of the village all around. So this place has been picked clean. Investigate the ruins or continue climbing. Keep in mind, we've just learned that spell. Well, we've learned part of a spell. I'm guessing it's lock and look. Let's see, spell. I don't think I can just like freely oh, hang on, pray. L2. Pray for healing. The spirit is the elephant. The elephant is an ancient creature, slow and sure of foot, who never chooses to be brave when being steadfast will suffice. A prayer to your spirit will heal you, but after a prayer, your spirit will not hear you again for some time. How much does it heal? Well, we've done it. Guess we'll find out. Right, we're fully healed. Let's investigate the ruins and see what happens. You take a moment to clamber out over the ruins and off the path until you are surrounded by waist-high grass. The ground rises and falls sharply around the outlines of the houses and buildings. You trace the line of a street wide enough to run 3 carts abreast. That leads quickly downhill towards a forest. Once this place was rich and plentiful. What happened here to remove every last trace of these colossal people? Look inside a house. You stop by the edge of a house. The side wall only stands as high as your knees. Grass nods above it. Looking inside, you can make out the edge of the fireplace, the back wall, and an adjoining area. Perhaps a grain store or a bedroom. Search in the grass. You take a few moments to search through the long grass and find nothing until your hand closes on a clay pot near one wall. It is in the shape of a wine jug, but about 3 times the usual size. Around the neck is a red stain, wine, or maybe blood. It is impossible to tell. The base of the pot has been smashed anyway, perhaps by age, perhaps by someone unhappy with the contents. You leave the pot behind. Follow the street down. You follow the line of the street down the slope of a hill. The further you go from the path, the more overgrown the ruins become, until you can barely make out their outlines at all. After a while, you're not following the streets at all, but simply holding to the same line. You approach the edge of a thick woodland. Oh, so we've went to the woodlands anyway, but at a different point. Originally, we were going to go, like, here. But now we're, like, up there instead. Do we turn and climb back, or do we go into the tree line? Climb. The path crosses over a low broken wall and then rises sharply uphill through a pass. After a while you see 2 cave mouths, one to the left of the path and another to the right. Left, right, or do we just carry on? Pick a cave. Or choose whether we just go on. I'm quite enjoying this, if I'm honest with you. I say I'm enjoying because the reason why I thought is because obviously we're going to sit and do it together rather than just like me sitting. I can sit and read it and we can like choose choices. Sometimes I'll choose choices. Sometimes you guys can choose choices. That's why I chose this, because like obviously that game that's coming out from Vanillaware, they've already mentioned that it's coming out on Steam though, unfortunately. But I think I'll probably end up picking it up. That one seems to be a bit more involved. There was another game which I think I've got on here as well, which is also an Android game. But that one, I'm sure that one, I thought this had dice rolls and everything as well. Maybe it was that other game I'm thinking of. You know which? Left or right, left or right, left or right, left or right, left or right. Eeny, meeny, miny, more. Catch a dagger by the tour. Every always let him go. Name, my name, out. Guess we're going right. You know, I'm looking at this one, and we're going there now. We've chose, we're going right. In before we end up barreling down the other side here and into the ravine. You pause at the mouth of the first cave and look inside. There's a faint whistling sound. The wind, perhaps? I'm telling you, we're going to end up falling out the other side and down that ravine. Investigate the other cave. Sounds risky. You creep out, intending to try the other cave. Sounds risky. Okay, so can I like change my mind? If it's risky? Okay, there we go. Go further in. Oh boy. You creep further in. Then a few steps on, you stumble and fall, and as you do so, the whistling stops. To your horror, you realize what you have tripped over is a foot. A giant slowly rubs his eyes and gets to its feet. It hoists up a massive stone club. Oh boy. Cast a spell. D U M Dumb. You cast the spell and the club drops from the giant's hand. It grunts and reaches down to retrieve it. Taking another step, it drops the club again. Your spell is working. After dropping the club once more, it closes on you with its hands instead. This thing has a lot of stamina. Holy shit. We might not make it. With a roar that shakes the rocks, the giant swings its club and comes for you, determined to crack open your bones. Boldly you swing your sword for its neck. It raises its club defensively in time to stop your blow. He's left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Oh boy. You attempt to attack and suffer for it. The giant raises its enormous club and brings it crashing down onto you. Your own weak thrust is knocked aside. Stealing your courage, you move in, aiming to trap the giant against the cave wall. Moving swiftly, you aim for his heart. He deflects as well as he can. He staggers against the cave wall and the ground shakes. Oh boy. You spy an opening but misjudge. The giant swipes for you with its club. You try to dodge but are not fast enough. That terrible wooden club? It said it was stone earlier. Now it's wood? Hang on. Where did the wood club come from? It clearly said it was a stone. Look, a massive stone club. Now it's suddenly wood. Developers? Did you read your own work? Anyway, you try to dodge but are not fast enough. That terrible wooden club almost crashes down on your skull. You stagger backwards. His stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. Taking a chance, you move forward, teasing the giant with a passing blow, wearing him down. The giant parries slowly. His eyes follow your movements cautiously. You drop down, protecting yourself as the giant jabs with its club. You step smartly aside. You are mostly unhurt. His dim-witted eyes are watching you closely. Readying yourself, you move in, moving quickly. You thrust a straight lunge to skewer his eyes. The giant ducks clumsily. The hill giant stumbles suddenly. He is weakening. Oh boy. You muster your courage, but it fails. The giant kicks out with one oversized foot. You are caught off balance. Much more of this, and he will be using your bones to pick his teeth. Expecting a storm, you raise your guard at the giant swipes its terrible club. You throw yourself to the ground. Uh-oh. Stealing your courage, you move forward. Moving efficiently, you aim for his ankles as the giant swings for your head. The giant's eyes are bloodshot and he's moving much slower now. His stupid eyes follow your movements. Ooh. You strike again, moving swiftly. You thrust a piercing stab and skewer his heart. Then your sword slips between the giant's ribs and he falls, gasping his last in a noise like a gushing waterfall. Damn, the mountainside falls silent. Search the body, examine the body. Do we examine it first or just search it? What do we think? Examine. You step over the body. The giant is quite dead. His eyes stare open and his mouth is wide, mid-roar, showing his teeth. Do something about his mouth or do something about his eyes. His eyes. You pass a hand over his eyes to close them. Search the body. You quickly search the giant's body and find a pouch at his waist containing 8 gold pieces. Yes! It is hard to imagine the giant spending them. Perhaps he was not dumb as he appeared, or perhaps he liked them because they were shiny and nothing more. You like them too, so you take them. Search the cave. You explore into the depths of the giant cave to see what you can find. At the back of the room, you find a large loaf of bread. It's too big to carry, but you could eat a little from it. Ooh, do we eat the bread? It might be mouldy. Do we press my luck? Keep in mind, we've only got 3 stamina left. And if it falls to 0, I think it's GG. Eat the bread. You tear away the crusts with your sword, and then eat a few handfuls from inside. It's fairly nourishing, if not pleasant. Time to move on. You hurry out of the shadow of the pass. You crest the rise and continue down the slopes onto the other side. You pass out through another gigantic gate and into a barren mountainside. We've just gone in a circle. Secret tunnel through the mountains. Secret tunnel. Yeah. Welcome to Storytime, Sephiroth. Join in on the choices and determine our fate. We are playing Steve Jackson's Sorcery, a choice-based text-based adventure with the basic visuals, combat and things like that. You've got to choose different choices along the way to try and ultimately meet your goal. Your goal being to retrieve this crown of power and bring it back to your village where it rightfully belongs, as it was stolen away. And now this archmage is using it to do evil deeds. And you are the one hero sent from your village after the previous failed. No, that is my current guardian god that we can pray to in order to get some, like, stamina back. But we've already prayed to them, so we can't do it again for a few days. The path trips and slides down a steep, scree slope, and then emerges out a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grass, and by its banks stand a tiny village. Do we enter the village or avoid? I think we should enter. We're just getting a nice big bag of money. We're low on stamina. We only have one ration left. So I'm thinking we should head into the village. We've basically just gone around. We were at that place earlier. Our option was to go along that path. But we passed along this way. Fought that big troll. Goblin thing. Off to the dump. Alright, dump us. I forgot. Let's all go to dump us. Today has been punishing, but with a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. So you begin the gentle climb down to the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. Could be a silent day, it could be Humpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There's a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. But nothing changes the fact that you desperately need shelter and rest. Your day has been punishing, and you are almost too weak to stand. Do we talk to the villagers, explore the town, or find an inn? Choose our destiny. Space. Explore. Ooh, I wonder what that place is there. I'm guessing we're not going there anymore. That probably would have given me the option once we got to there. Explore, Lou, what do you think? We'll see what you both think, and then what I think, and then we'll go from there. Do we agree with Sephiroth and explore, or do we talk to villagers, or do we find an inn? Yeah. Alright. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchant huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 12 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Examine the skull cap, buy the provisions, or examine the sword. What do we think? The sword? Keep in mind we already have a sword. And the game hasn't said anything about stats. So, I don't know. I think it's the other game I'm thinking about with stats. Dual wielding? Okay. So, Sephiroth wants me to look at the sword. What do you think, Lou? I'm partial to the skull cap. So, it's between the sword or the cap, Lou. You get to be the decider. That'd be a bit of a shit eye if he said provisions. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Right, in that case, I'm gonna look away and we're just gonna you can't you can't like just press one direction and have it keep cycling. Right, no, in that case I'm just gonna do that and see what happens. I'll do it like really quickly so I can't tell what's happening. And we'll see what it lands on. My little bot thing that does all those sort of things seemed to have ran away. I don't know what happened to it. I thought it was me Stream Elements one. Actually, hang on. Commands? You can find a list of all the commands here. Thanks. It timed out its own link. Okay. Random? I hang on, is there not like a list of them in the about section on my channel? I can't remember if I listed them below. Nobody seems to have used them in a long time. Newton used it for like the first month that I put them in and then that was it. To like play random games. And I don't know if it was Stream Elements or a different bot. No list. Champion. Yeah. I don't think it's actually him, the Stream Elements bot. I'm sure I used to have I'm gonna have to look into it later. I'm sure I used to have a second bot that did all like the commands and that. Let's see. Dice. Game. Rolls. Nope, none of that seems to work. Huh. Yeah, I think the bot that used to have those is like just ran away since no one was using it. Oh well, I'll have to look into what it was that I had set up. Okay, I'll just like open up a link and just roll dice. Oh, hey, there's a... Oh, okay, roll dice between 1 and 3. You can roll a die to get a random number 2 or 3. There are various online... Yeah, that bot seems to have disappeared. I don't know where it's went. I can't even remember which one it was, but they were definitely ones, 8-ball and roulette. You are right with those. And you used to be able to use exclamation command, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be working anymore. Oh well. I think it's because, like I said, nobody was using it, so it's just like disappeared. Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 3. Two. Right. Buy provisions it is. I kind of want to examine that skull cap though. Fuck it. What? The dice has called it. You examine the bag of food. There is about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveller, I'm sure. You pay them 6 gold pieces and add the provisions to your pack. I got 3 provisions. Okay. Oh, we can still do it. Aha. Okay, never mind. We can still examine and everything. Let's have a look. Well, I guess we'll do everything. Examine the skull cap. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadu, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. It looks like an object of magic properties, although what they might be is unclear. Ooh. I'm going to veto it. I'm going to override this one. I'm going to say buy it. You pay him the 4 gold pieces. You place the skull pack in your sack. Wait, put it on your head. You nod to the merchant. Oh shit, I might have not left us enough money to stay at the inn. Oops. Is there any work to be had here? Oh, is there somewhere I can go? I think we should do that. Because we've just spent a lot of money there. We're now low on money. Do you agree? Do some work. Earn a bit of coin. Yeah. Is there any work to be had here? I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. And feed you. Digging what? The merchant sifts uncomfortably. Doesn't matter. You'll find I know what it is. We're burying dead people that they've gone and robbed. This is a shady merchant. That skull cap he said was stolen. It's going to be that person's body who we've just bought that cap. This priest of Dadu. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? He stares at you. So, he asks. He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now myself. You coming? I guess we're following the merchant. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the household. A stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. What is it that you need doing? Cesspit, the man replies. Out back, needs digging. How much? Well, the man replies, it's pretty urgent, the old one's overflowing. How much money you demand? 3 gold pieces, he replies. I'll get started. Spades out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk around the man's house in the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one, and it's going to be several hours. Work that'll probably take the whole night. Ooh. You collect the spade and stuck in the ground. Is there a spell that can help? No, because I'm really low on stamina. Nip. I'm going to guess that skull cap's going to allow her to cast one of these new spells. Because a lot of these say requires green ring, requires crystal orb, requires holy water. Zed. This is the most formidable spell in lore, but no one knows why. In all recorded history, this spell has been cast only once by a powerful necromancer from Thorben, who was never seen again. Its effects are unknown. The necromancer's notes were found, but were crazed and unclear. Treat with extreme caution. Let's see, do any of these here require skull cap? Skull cap, tail. To activate the spell, the caster must wear the cloth scarf. The user may then read the mind of any intelligent creature. Damn it. 6. The spell is cast the caster's own body and creates multiple images. Ooh, this might help. Might help with getting the job done quicker. Each will form identical actions. The most and most creatures will. Okay, let's try this. 6. Hopefully we can. Ah, there's not going to be an S, is there? You suck. Yeah. Oh, man. What about big? Big. You cast the spell and wait for it to take effect. Then you feel the spades turn from a heavy tool to a mere toothpick in your hands as you swell 3 times your usual size. You have the digging work done in barely any time. Yes. Collect pay. You go back into the house and collect your money. 3 gold pieces. The grateful householder also provides you with some food as well as a space on the floor to rest for the remainder of the night. You settle down happily and are quickly asleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. It seems as though you wander through doors and hallways built 10, 20 times your height. You're an insect, and the hills over which you walk are the follicles of hair on the shaved chin of a giant. Storms of hot, fetid breath seem to sweep across you, threatening to blow you down into hell. Overhead, you fancy you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown. Perhaps before this journey is finished, they will come for you. I don't know if the game like auto saves or if that's it. Like, I don't know how you. Like, the only option seems to reset the prologue. Can you like save your progress here and that's it? I don't know. Lullaby, are you still around? I don't know what happens here. The only option is to reset the prologue, but I don't want to do that. I'd be a bit stupid if every time you leave the game, that's it, you've got to start from the beginning. Let's check. Steve Jackson's Sorcery does it auto-save progress. Steve Jackson does not have an auto-save feature. Players must manually save the progress. How? How do you save? Steve Jackson's Sorcery. PS4, how to save? Question mark. In Steve Jackson's Sorcery, you can save your game by using cloud saves, which allow you to maintain your progress and choose which save to continue throughout in subsequent playthroughs. Make sure to complete the playthrough to access the cloud. I don't think that's a correct answer. When starting a new game, you can what? How do you save? I can't use cloud. Are you telling me this game needs cloud save functionality, which you have to pay PlayStation Plus for? that will be the end of this if that's the case. I don't think it's available anywhere else. I think it's only on Android and PlayStation 4. I don't think it's on Steam or anything. I mean, I think it used to be, but hang on, have I got the Steam version of this? At least for fucking Steam, they're not gonna... I hear that you've got to pay Sony for, like, cloud save. Xbox doesn't make it, and neither does Steam. As far as I'm aware. I know Steam doesn't, so I'm sure Xbox doesn't as well. Do I have Sorcery already on here? I don't. I thought I did. And I don't even think it's available on Steam. Oh, it is. But it's all in, like, separate bits. Oh, wow, it only goes up to Part 3. It doesn't look like Part 4 is available on Steam. I know it is. But we'll see what happens. I'm not going to buy the game again now. But, well, did these guys make any other ones? Let's say Ingle Limited. Ooh, they did. They made a few games. Pendragon. Oh, wow, they made quite a lot of games. 80 Days, Pendragon, Overboard, A Highland Song, Expelled, an Overboard game, and TR49, which looks to be the latest game. And this looks like another sort of... Well, it's not an adventure game. It looks like they're going over, like, documents and things like that. Okay, well, I don't know how to save. Cloud continuity, many choices associated are quite important. So I'm confused. Like, I don't see a save option there, so I'm not sure what we're going to do here. And I don't want to hit reset. See what happens if we'll just reboot the game? I really hope it saves. Otherwise, this is a terrible game if you can't save your progress. Oh, whoop. Right, so it just carries straight on. That's great. Champion. Cool. No problems there then. Right, if that's the case, I think we'll call that there for now, because it's gone midnight now and I want to get to bed. If you're new to the channel, as always, feel free to that follow. Hope you've enjoyed Sorcery here on Twitch. See if you're watching the VOD on YouTube. There will be more to come. I'm quite enjoying this so far. It's a nice little chill, little adventure. Like I said, I'm liking that we can all just chill and interact while choosing the choices. This is a good... That's what makes this good. Because we can all sit and decide where we're going to go along the adventure. But yeah, thanks for watching here on Twitch. Hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to call it there for the night. Like I said, it's just gone past midnight. I want to get to bed. I don't want to stay up too late and muck my sleeping. Because obviously I start my new job in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night. Like I said, same if you're watching the VOD on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed. There'll be more of this to come. We'll probably make this a weekend game, so we'll be doing more tomorrow. And then we'll do Crimson Desert during the weekdays. Depending on what happens with my job anyway, because the first 3 weeks is just going to be like standard hours. And then after that, once my training and everything's done, I'll be working all over the place. So, yeah, we'll see. But anyway, have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all again later. Peace.